Mindset behind savings and investment and just growing your wealth is to pay yourself first. If you've ever tried this before, if perhaps you have a savings account right now, I'm sure you will have peace of mind that no matter what, I am good because I know I have some money. But when you don't have money in the account, it gives you worry, gives you stress, gives you anxiety, how much you need to save in the emergency saving fund. This is totally up to you. I say this because you are the one that know your financial situation more than anybody else. Now, one key thing I have realized is that money is emotional. People sometimes know what to do with money, but they hardly do it. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you two major things. Number one, how to build an emergency saving fund. Number two, how to save. These are two different things and I'll be explaining shortly. Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am the Fisayo, your wealth and mindset coach. If you're like me, you're probably planning against your 2025 to win financially, and I'm here to give you the tools you need to plan and grow your wealth in 2025. For more like this, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Like this video if you enjoy it while watching, and share this video with your friend. Now, let's get into the video. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you two major things. Number one, how to build an emergency saving fund. Number two, how to save. These are two different things and I'll be explaining shortly. Now, if you're looking to get a summary of what I'm going to be sharing in total today, here is it. So to build an emergency saving fund, number one, you want to get a saving goal. Number two, you want to decide your saving philosophy. Number three, you want to adjust your expense and cost accounts. Number four, you want to increase your income if you need to do that. Number five, make use of government assistance programs to cover some costs. Number six, automate your savings. Now, if you want to understand what that is, let us get into the video. I just decided to give you a summary of all the things we'll be talking about today in case you're not able to watch till the very end. Now, one major goal I want to achieve today is for you to understand where you are financially so that you can understand where you want to go. And at the end of this video, I hope you come out with some form of clarity as to what you want to achieve financially in 2025. I created the hierarchy of wealth based on my experience, based on my knowledge that I've gathered on books I have read, and also drawing from the hierarchy of needs by Abraham Maslow. If you remember that, I'm just going to put it on the screen right now. Now, the very bottom, you see financial survival. The next is financial stability, financial protection, financial security, financial abundance, and financial freedom, which is what we all hope to get. Now, financial survival, as you can see to the right, it says paycheck to paycheck. So if you're currently living paycheck to paycheck, you're currently in a survival mode. And the essence of me sharing this with you is, again, for you to understand where you are, to bring clarity to where you are so that you can advance and grow to the next level. Number two, debt payoff. So most people that are in financial survival stage are not even able to pay their debt because, again, they are living paycheck to paycheck to pay the current bills. So at the point where you've paid off your debt, you're currently stable, you feel good, you feel less burdened, you have peace of mind. Number three, financial protection. This is what we talk of insurance. Most people tend to have insurance here in Canada and the US, especially if it's mandatory. For the ones that are not mandatory, like your health insurance is not mandatory, your house insurance sometimes, if it's not on mortgage, is not mandatory. Your life insurance is not mandatory, but if you have all those things, it shows that you have some form of protection. The aim is for you to advance from one level to the other. And then we have financial security, where you have huge savings and huge emergency fund. And then we have financial abundance. This is where you move from savings to investments, living off dividends from your investments, having passive income. And then you have financial freedom. This is where you have all the things listed below, and then you move to a situation whereby you're not just making money from your investment, but you're planning for the future. You're planning for generational wealth. You're building a legacy account, you're building trust, you're building wills, you have an estate plan. And the goal is for every one of us to get to financial freedom. And today we're going to be focusing on financial security. This is what we'll be focusing on today to help you learn how to grow your emergency saving fund and grow your saving account as well. Now, if you realize that you are still in the financial survival stage, struggling to live paycheck to paycheck, unable to pay your debt, currently on the screen, you can scan this barcode to help you plan your way out of debt. And this is a free planner that I created for anyone interested to living a debt-free life so that you can advance from one level to the other. The goal behind this is for you to take action. You can have the planner, but if you don't take action, there will be no results. If by any chance you want to have clarity on how to use this planner, you can always book a one-on-one with me to answer some of your questions as well. Now, here are a few statistics for you. About 64% Americans live paycheck to paycheck, meaning their necessity spending closely matches their total household income. Now, what about Canada? Surveys also suggest that nearly 50% of Canadians are living paycheck to paycheck, depending on the survey you check. I've checked a couple of surveys, another one said 64%. So an average will be about 60% of you watching are currently living paycheck to paycheck or in debt. And the goal is for you right now to emancipate yourself from that and live in freedom. You wouldn't believe that 60% of people living paycheck to paycheck think it's normal. It wasn't normal years ago. And it's becoming the new norm because of the culture of borrowing and being in debt and having to pay and live up with the Joneses, and which are some of the mindsets that I have made different videos on for you to be able to emancipate yourself from. Now let's read this. Your mindset is the foundation of your financial reality. Recognizing limiting beliefs and taking action in a wealthy mindset empowers you to consistently take action that aligns with a wealth-building mindset. You can create a life of abundance and break free from the constraints of scarcity. To know more, I made a video on wealth mindset. Click the link to go watch that video. Remember, what you focus on expands. If you focus on lack will expand. If you focus on abundance will expand. If you focus on wealth will expand. So what do you focus on today? What are you consuming today? What is your mindset focused on today? My charge for you is to change your focus and change your life. Now let's get into the first point. What is an emergency saving fund? Emergency fund is laying a foundation. For example, your insurance policy. You can call an emergency saving fund a form of foundation. It gives you security, like an insurance policy would. It is not an investment account. It is not there to make you rich. An emergency saving fund is a savings account specifically set aside for unexpected expenses. It acts as a financial safety net for unforeseen costs like medical bills, car repairs, perhaps a job loss for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and you don't want to live in obscurity and worry. This emergency fund is supposed to save you from that. Now, why do you need an emergency saving fund? Number one, to avoid unforeseen circumstances from taking you into a zone you don't want to be. An example is, again, studying loss, car repairs, urgent travels, or medical emergencies. If you have medical insurance, you don't have to worry about this. For people who do not have medical insurance, your emergency saving funds can also save you from such. It provides immediate access to cash when unexpected expenses arise. Having an emergency saving fund can help you avoid going into debt when unexpected expenses arise. It gives you peace of mind. Knowing you have a financial cushion can reduce stress and help you sleep better at night. Of course, if you've ever tried this before, if perhaps you have a savings account right now, I'm sure you will have peace of mind that no matter what, I am good because I know I have some money. But when you don't have money in the account, it gives you worry, gives you stress, gives you anxiety. It increases your sometimes level of depression in some people. So having a safety net prevents all of that. And it's part of what you need to build a wealthy mindset. I've mentioned and made a lot of videos on that. You can click the links in the description below of the video and the tab above as well. Now we're going to get into what an emergency saving fund should look like. It is not a sinking account. It is not a job transition account. It is not a travel account or a travel funding account. It's not an education account. It is an emergency saving funds account, right? And if you want me to make videos on what a sinking fund account is like a travel, education, and other kinds of savings goal account should look like, feel free to leave that comment in the comment section as well. I'd like to know what kind of videos you want from me so that I can create videos to help you grow your wealthy mindset and win financially as well. Now, if you're looking to plan for Christmas, you have 12 months to plan for it. You don't have to wait till December and say, oh my God, I don't have money. Let me take money out of my emergency savings account. No, that's not what that is for. Your emergency savings account or your emergency fund is for emergency. So it's not for childbearing. Perhaps you had 9 months or 8 months to plan for that child arrival. So it's not for that, it's for emergencies. Now, this is where we decide how much you need to save in your emergency saving funds. This is totally up to you. I say this because you are the one that know your financial situation more than anybody else. You know your financial situation more than I do. Now, you would want to assess yourself and decide how much do I spend in a month? If you don't have an idea of how much you spend in a month, I advise you to create a monthly budget planner. I have a resource that can help you as well. Just click the link in the description. It's called the Wealth Planner. So you want to assess how much you spend in a month, and if you want to do 3 months, people usually do 3 months. Sometimes it's advised, like the rule of thumb, to do 3 months. If you want to do 3 months, multiply whatever you spend in a month by 3. If you want to do 12 months, multiply what you spend in a month by 12. And I'm going to explain in what scenario you might want to do 12 months. Now, if you don't have a stable job, perhaps you're a freelancer and money is in this month, money is not in next month, it's a good decision to save for 12 months. If you know you have health issues and you don't have health insurance to cover it, it's good to save for 12 months. And if there's any other inconsistency in your life, save for 12 months. Consider your household size, consider if you guys are in debt, and consider your income stability to determine how much you want to put aside monthly or to save per month. For those in debt, start with a smaller savings or emergency fund, such as $1,000, and build from there. So if you are currently in debt and you're not sure if you can attain a goal of maybe your monthly spending in a month is $5,000, and you were to multiply that by 3 months, that's $15,000. Perhaps if you're not able to meet that goal, you can decide to start with a small goal, make it achievable, reach that goal, and then you move on to the next. Now, how do you save? There are different ideas to saving. Some people decide to save a certain amount in a month, while some people decide to save a certain percentage in a month. I am in the WhatsApp group for the percentage in a month, and I highly encourage it. I read the book called The Richest Man in Babylon, and it was highly recommended by Jim Rohn, one of the great speakers of our time. And in this book, the percentage advice for savings was between 10 to 20%. Now, whatever percentage you want is up to you. So the major thing here is deciding on a philosophy. I have a family member who saves XYZ monthly. He doesn't do percentage, he does monthly XYZ. I do percentage, and because that's what works for me. So any income, whether it's from my business or from my other incomes, I make sure I take out a percentage for God first, because I'm a Christian, and I also take out a percentage for savings. I take out a percentage for investments as well. Now, the idea here is choosing a philosophy and abiding by it. So if you're going to do 10% a month, make sure you do 10% a month. If you're going to do 20% a month, make sure you stick to doing 20% a month. So decide that philosophy, and then you can divide that 10% amongst your different savings accounts. So emergency savings is one of your recommended savings account. Now, for the people who save a specific amount in a month, sometimes they do a 26-week challenge or a 52-week challenge. 52-week is basically covering for every week in the year, while 26 is bi-weekly. So perhaps if you're being paid bi-weekly, maybe you can decide to say, every paycheck that comes in, I am taking XYZ, $100, $500, whatever that is. And then you can spread it across your savings account, so your emergency and then your other sinking funds account. That's one. Or if you're being paid every week, you can do every paycheck that comes in every week, I'm taking out XYZ. Or if you're being paid once a month, then your challenge will be a 12-month challenge. So everyone is different. Your financial situation is different from everyone, and that's why you have to choose what works for you. So the idea behind this is choosing a philosophy. Make sure you have something that works and stick to it. Now, I'm just going to turn you over to my presentation. How to build an emergency fund. Number one, you start with a goal. Consider how much you need to save. 3 to 12 months, like I mentioned. Access how much you spend monthly. Create a budget that includes regular contributions to your emergency fund. Cut your unnecessary expenses. Look for ways to earn more. If you realize that in a month you already spent $5,000 and then you've tried to cut all your expenses, all you could remove was $200, and you think $200 is not enough for your emergency saving funds to meet your goal, then your next step is, how can I make more money? Look for ways to increase your earnings. Look for a side hustle. Now then, when you are able to take that step, the next thing for you to do is to automate your savings. So if you're the person that says XYZ is what I would take out monthly, you automate that. Make sure that you don't have to put yourself in a situation whereby you are now second guessing your decisions. Pay yourself first. That's the mindset. The mindset behind savings and investment and just growing your wealth is to pay yourself first before you pay other people. Because guess what? When you think of your rent, you're paying your landlord. When you think of your clothing, whatever it is that you're wearing, you're paying someone. But have you paid yourself? So the mindset behind this is paying yourself first and being intentional with that. So you have to think of ways, how can I increase my earning and pay myself first before I pay other people and my money becomes red again? So what do you do? So yeah, automate your savings. If you earn money monthly, automate for monthly. If you earn money bi-weekly, automate for bi-weekly. And if you earn weekly, automate for weekly as well. There's sometimes your office gives you bonuses and you're like, oh, what do I do with this bonus? Do I save it? Do I spend it? Do I spoil myself? How about you spoil yourself by saving? How about you spoil yourself by paying yourself first? That is how you're able to get to your wealth goal and get to your savings goal as fast as you want. These are unexpected money that just comes in. Sometimes you expect, sometimes you don't expect it. But my advice for you is to relocate that money back into your savings account or your investment account. But today we're focused on savings, so let's just focus on that. You might have heard of this rule, the 50-30 rule. And I'm bringing this to your screen today to give you some form of understanding and to help you decide what works for you. So the 50 rule basically means that you have $1,000. Your paycheck is $1,000. So 50% of that 1,000 is 500. So 500 should only be taken to your essentials. And I'll get into what essentials mean. And then 30% of how much you earn should be going to your discretionary, and then 20% should go to savings. Right now, are you able to save? If you think this is even far-fetched for you, we can work something out. Let's just go into the next screen. So again, this is just a pie chart of what I just shared with you. Now, what are the essentials? In this 50%, you have $500, right? Which I think is very unrealistic, but I'm just working with a figure here. In the 50%, you have $300 going to rent. Depending on where you live, I'm not sure what you can afford or where you can afford it, $300 rent. 10% goes to your groceries, 10% goes to your utilities. Utilities could be light bill, water bill, internet, whatnot. Whatever it is you use to maintain your house falls under utilities. Now, if you look at this and you say, oh my God, my rent is over 30% of how much I earn, it means you're already living above your means. So the idea behind this is to bring clarity to you, to understand where you are. Right now, you're living above your means. So how can you go from there to here? And then 10%, most times people are able to live within 10% for the grocery. Sometimes 10% might even be too much, but this is an ideal and this is a guide. Again, we're going to get into some other intricacies that can help you decide if this works for you or what you can do and how you can practice this to make it work for you. But this rule of thumb is one I really like in terms of keeping me and you in check. My rent, my mortgage should not be more than 50% of how much I earn. My utilities should not be more than 10% of how much I earn. My grocery shouldn't be more than 10%. If I'm doing more, then I'm living above my means, and that is not the goal. That is how you can achieve your wealth goal. That's not how you can achieve your savings goal. Now, we spoke about savings, but the real wealth is not just in savings, it's in investment. I'm not going to speak too much about this. I'm probably going to make a different video, but I'm sharing this for a reason. So yeah, it shows that you can spend 80% on expenses in a month. And I want to challenge that thought. You don't have to spend up to 80%. How about you do 60% in a month? And why do you do that? Because right now, I know your plan is to be secured, but you can still be secured and plan towards abundance. And I'm going to show you how. So if you're able to do 60% of how much you earn in a month and put it into your expenses, it makes you think further. How can I reduce how much I spend in a month so that I can have extra money to do X, Y, Z? You can change this percentage however that suits your family, but the goal is for you to keep growing. So perhaps if you see on the screen right now, there is 60% for expense, 10% for investment, 20% for savings, and 10% for tithe. Again, I'm a Christian, so I always pay my tithe, thank God. And then the next thing is, I might pay myself as well. So yes, 20% for my savings. And then I want to grow my investment, 10% for that. And then of course, I'm able to just spend 60%. And this is if you do have a low income. Sometimes this percentage can be different for you. So 10% goes to God if you're a Christian as well. And then perhaps your savings can be 5% or 10%. Or if you were to do 10% here and then 5% here. That is up to you. Again, I told you I have a percentage philosophy, so I pay God first, pay myself, and then distribute the rest wherever it needs to be. Now you see on your screen here, there are different percentages showing. So you see 10% for expense, 50% for investment, 30% for savings, 10% for tithe. So it goes with the same philosophy. I pay God first, I ensure I save, and then you can see that my savings here is higher. That goes back to your goal. If your goal is security, you can increase your savings. And then if your goal is abundance, increase your investments. But how can one live on 10%? That's possible. Again, this is high income. So if perhaps in a month you're already spending $5,000 in a month, and all of a sudden your household income increases to $50,000 in a month, you don't need to increase your standard of living. The goal here is not to increase your standard of living. That's how you can maintain this 10%. So you will continue with whatever it is you already spent on, and you should put that money into other things. For most people, that might not make sense. I'm going to go into what that looks like on an Excel sheet right now. Now, one key thing I have realized is that money is emotional. People sometimes know what to do with money, but they hardly do it. So I'm just going to share with you what I currently mean in terms of how to maintain a 10% amount of expense. Is that even possible? Yes, it is. So I created this world planner right here on your screen. You can see here where my cursor is, there's a low income, there's the high income, and then you have your wealth goals, and then we'll just focus on those three things. So I already explained to you what a low income looks like. Again, if you're working with 10%, you put your 10% here, savings, and then you distribute it amongst all your savings goal. And then if you have investment, another 20%, whatever it is, percentage you want to work with, you distribute it amongst all your investments. And then over here, it shows you what your cash flow looks like per year. This is a projection table that helps you plan. And then this also shows your income projection and your savings and investment portfolio projection as well. So what does it look like if you spend still the same amount of money in a month, but you have an increased salary? So this is an example of $50,000. Your tithe remains the same, it's $5,000. Your savings, now you're paying yourself more, now that you have more money, and then you're able to distribute that amongst other things. So because, as you can see, the priority here is emergency savings. So there's more money here in emergency, and others are distributed across. And then there is your other investments account, however you want to distribute it as well. Now, this is 50%. And then expense is 5,000. So the only way to achieve this is not increasing your lifestyle, maintaining your standard of living, and increasing your income. Maintaining your standard of living and increasing your income is the major way you can achieve this. Now it comes over here and talks about your wealth goals. This is a planner you can get by clicking the link in the description, by the way, or scanning the barcode on the screen right now. This basically allows you to put in what you make month in, month out, your income 1, income 2, income 3, and again, allocate your tithe, allocate your savings goal, if it's 20 to 30%, allocate your investment goal, 10 to 50%, allocate your whatever it is, right? And then it shows you what your expense is versus your savings and investment. So this is assuming you earn a low amount, and after your income comes in, most of your expense or most of the percentage is allocated to expenses. So this helps you calculate your net worth, and also just helps you track your savings and investment. And as you can see, this person is spending more than he or she is paying him or herself. You just have to come here in January and do the same thing. February, everything is all on one sheet. And then your net worth is calculated. Your net worth is automatically calculated. When you get this guide, there will be a tutorial video that will help you learn how to achieve the calculation. It's automatically calculated anyways. So that is just a brief example of what that looks like. 10% is achievable, and that's what I usually encourage people to aim for in terms of their expenses, so that they can prioritize more money on savings and investment and grow their wealth. That is honestly the secret here. I know this video is not focused on wealth, or is focused more on savings, but I already explained to you that you can save and continue to grow abundance as well. and the goal again for me is to see more people win financially in 2025. I'm just going to share with you more tips before we end this video. Now, before I go there, I currently have a webinar coming up soon on the first Sunday of the month of January, where I'll be getting in depth on more of these topics and answering your questions live for 1 hour. So if you want to join this, make sure you don't miss it. Make sure you tune in to the webinar by scanning the barcode right now or clicking the link in the description, and I will see you in the webinar. Again, if your current income cannot afford you to save or invest, increase your income or reduce your expenses. Now, where do you save your emergency saving funds? Do you just accumulate a lot of money and leave it lying somewhere? That is up to you. I usually just advise putting it in a high interest savings account. I know that this money is not an investment account, but it doesn't hurt bad to earn an extra 2% or 5% here and there. The major thing is that you make sure that wherever it is you're putting it, it is liquid. So you can put it in the money market and leave it there to be liquid to grow, or you can put it in, I wouldn't really say GICs or CD. I know right now on the screen you can see GICs because sometimes GICs are locked in. If it's locked in and you need the money right now for an emergency, you might not be able to have access to that. So when choosing where to put your emergency saving funds, think of how can I get my money whenever I want to get it. Think of low monthly fees. And with that said, I currently put my emergency saving funds in Wealthsimple. If you want to use Wealthsimple to save your money, just click the link in the description and then you have access to the same Wealthsimple account. You know, choosing Wealthsimple wasn't an easy decision. I did a deep comparison between Wealthsimple and other accounts. Myself and my husband sat down and we said, okay, what are the advantages and disadvantages of the different accounts? And if you want me to make that video, leave a comment in the comment section. You know how it is. Now, at what point should you take money out of your emergency savings account? Number one, if the situation is unexpected. Number two, if it's urgent. Number three, if it's absolutely necessary. Set short-term and long-term saving goals to build your emergency funds gradually. And if you're having difficulties with doing such, I am just a booking away. Feel free to book a call with me to have your questions answered on how to achieve or even set your saving goals. Now, other tips: get a part-time job if you want to increase your income, get a side hustle, leverage cashback apps or cashback credit cards, do a monthly savings challenge. You can join my community by clicking the link in the description below and have access to how I'm able to keep people accountable on their monthly savings and investment challenge. Number four, pay your tax refunds and bonuses. Number five, I already mentioned this before, put your tax refund and bonuses into your emergency savings account. Spend later, not now. Another way to increase your savings is delayed gratification. So if you see something you want to buy, how about you wait for a day or two? And if you still feel the urge to buy it, you can go ahead and do that. But if you no longer feel the urge to buy, then you just saved yourself some money that has now been redirected into your savings account. Automate your savings. Start with what you have. Again, if you earn little and you are in debt, start with a small goal, and then with time your goal will increase, and then you want to also look for how you can earn more money. Use your emergency saving funds only in emergencies, and review your emergency funds regularly. Review your goals regularly. I'm always doing that every month as well. Keep your emergency saving funds separate. That's one thing I love so much about the Wealthsimple app that I use. You're able to create different saving goals and keep different monies into different accounts based on your goals. So again, if you want looking for something like that, click the link in the description for the Wealthsimple link. And one thing I mentioned in the video is that you can make use of government support or scholarships. If it's money you need for education or for your family, sometimes there are government programs. I've made some videos on scholarship in the past. You can click here to go watch those videos, or click the description as well to go have access to those videos. Small changes make big impact. If you enjoyed this video, again, do not forget that you can have access to me one-on-one for more knowledge and resources in case you have any personal questions you have for me. You made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching till this very moment. And if you liked it, do not forget to like, share, and what? Subscribe. Yes, I'll be sharing more videos like this in the future on wealth and mindset. And if this is what you want to help you grow in 2025 to win financially, you know what to do. Subscribe. And yeah, leave comment. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. What steps do you want to take? What do you currently practice financially that's working for you, so that myself and other people reading the comments can also learn. And you can watch my previous video on how to grow your wealth mindset.